Hello, I'm Jacob Witkin. Welcome to another look at our curious world.
Take a bow beneath what just may be the world's most expensive Buddha. Travel to Thailand to the 5-ton gold statue that's worth its weight in gold. The fountain in the magic woods. Visit this amazing restaurant in Barcelona, Spain, where mysteries of the occult are served with a meal of the day. They come from miles to hear them speak. The everyday heroes of London's Speaker's Corner. Chew the fat at a local London hangout with some not-so-local folk. The way of wind and water is this man's way of life. Meet the Japanese architect who arranges his empire according to the ancient tradition of Feng Shui. The Royal Dragon of Thailand, the world's largest restaurant. So big, hundreds of waiters take orders on wheels. From Thailand to Barcelona, these tales and much more from this, our curious world.
Buddhism evolved in India. Although there are periods in India's history when the religion dominated the country, today less than 1% of the population is Buddhist. The religion was established in about 500 BC by an aristocratic prince who had become disillusioned with his comfortable lifestyle and went in search of a higher truth. A truth that was later to become Buddhism as we know it today.
In the old Chinese district of Bangkok, one monument is rarely overlooked. This may be the most expensive giant Buddha ever created. More than 700 years old and made of solid gold. Long ago, this statue was covered in cement to conceal it from invading enemies. The Sukhothai Primate Buddha is one of the most valuable statues in the world. No one has ever tried to steal it or carry it away because it weighs 5 tons. The actual value of this Buddha may be impossible to calculate. Aside from its worth as a religious object, the value would also depend on the price of so many tons of pure gold. Tourists and devout Buddhists add to this daily with offerings of more gold and coins from around the world. Long ago, this statue was covered in cement to conceal it from invading enemies. Over time, its true composition was forgotten. In 1955, the Ecclesiastic Commission here wanted the Buddha moved to a new temple. During the move, a portion of the cement shell broke off, revealing a shiny metal underneath. And this turned out to be 24-karat gold, pure and solid. The sculpture was reborn. Immediately, it became a cult object among the faithful of the Buddhist religion, as well as a major tourist attraction in the city. And imagine, its real value was hidden for more than 700 years. It took more than 5 tons of gold to forge this single massive figure. But this heavy likeness of the Buddha features a light-hearted expression, an all-knowing, eternal smile. Book lovers may just find the perfect vacation spot to curl up in at this next destination. This tiny town in Wales is no stranger when it comes to the business of books. After all, it's been selling them for over 38 years. Welcome to Hay on Wat, in the heart of Wales, the city of books. Over 3 million to choose from. It was founded by this man, Richard Booth, a graduate of Oxford, who in 1961 came up with the novel idea. Thanks to Booth, truckload after truckload of rare and second-hand books were brought into the sleepy hamlet. Fire stations, movie theaters, and empty shops were soon open for business and thriving. Sort of the old, if you stock it, they will come approach to business. And come they have from all over the world. It's no wonder why each year the millions of visitors who flock here speak volumes about the place. Unclear about your future? Try eating here. A popular new restaurant in Barcelona, Spain, bills itself as the fountain in the magic woods. It promises customers a most unusual kind of dining experience with a package deal. You pay for the meal, but your fortune is free. While you eat, you can have a tarot card reading or possibly speak with the dead. As you might imagine, the floor show here is quite unusual. When the witching hour approaches, so do the witches. With a spectacle of magic and parapsychology, customers are encouraged to take part. Each patron is given a candle and a coin to be blessed by a shaman. This is said to guarantee success with financial desires. Write your problems down and burn them away in a ritual fire. It's all free at this curious restaurant, offering up a supernatural buffet. One of the biggest attractions among the audience participation demonstrations is the hypnotism show. When under a spell, volunteers obey orders and are encouraged to be their favorite animal or act out their least favorite situation. The Fountain in the Magic Woods in Barcelona, Spain. A curious restaurant that serves today's special with tomorrow's forecast. While many of the world's most infamous restaurants pride themselves on a unique gimmick, all that's needed for a good time at this next Japanese restaurant is an old-fashioned hearty appetite. And then some. At the Rivera Steakhouse in downtown Tokyo, the challenge here is to finish close to 5 pounds of meat with corn and 3 dishes of rice in less than 30 minutes. And if you can do it without passing out first or having a heart attack, then they'll pay for your meal. And they'll even give you an extra $100 to boot. Over the years, the challenge has been taken up by some very famous customers. Boxer Mike Tyson and wrestling icon Hulk Hogan are just a few of the celebrity stomachs that have tried. Tonight, a new challenger has arrived at the restaurant with his eyes and stomach on the prize. Will he be able to eat his way to victory? Only time will tell. And here he goes. He goes right for the extra oyster sauce, always a good opening move. He's looking confident. Then it's the triple rice rake maneuver. Haven't seen that one in a while. What an unexpected move. This could put him in the lead. But wait, he seems to be having some trouble cutting the meat. This could cost him some precious seconds. But no, he goes right for the full cram. What a move, what a contender, and what an appetite. Now he's going in for the single rice grain pickup. I think he's going to make it. Yes, he's done it. He's beaten the clock, and he's still conscious. Our overstuffed customer here is one of 20 or so winners that challenge the restaurant regularly. Sometimes he wins, and sometimes there's the agony of defeat, not to mention an upset stomach. The money does make the taste of victory even sweeter here at the Rivera Steakhouse. After all, $100 sure can buy an awful lot of heartburn medicine. Some say this church in Eider-Oberstein, Germany was built for other than religious reasons. Many believe as a result of a tragic love story that turned to murder. A tunnel of 300 steps leads down into the belly of the Eider-Oberstein church, one of only a few churches in the world built into the side of a mountain. Inside, the church is a treasure trove of medieval artwork. On the rear gallery, 12 Baroque apostles look down on a stained glass window. Stone carvings, altarpieces, and paintings create an atmosphere of contemplation and peace. The church was completed at the end of the 15th century, but the chapel's gruesome legend begins much earlier. In a moment of rage and jealousy over the love of the same young Fräulein, it's said that a knight pushed his younger brother from the precipice overlooking the town below. The legend continues that in the exact spot where his brother died, the sorrowful knight built this church where it stands today, a moving testament of one man's final gesture of repentance.
In the late Middle Ages, when the hillside church in Ada Roberstein was constructed, Europe was in the midst of several severe crises, including the Black Death, famine, and military conflicts. Yet there was also enormous vitality and advancement in art, literature, and thought, for which reasons the period is considered the golden age of church and castle construction.
Coming up, is there any truth behind the adage that those who keep their houses in order keep their lives in order? Find out as we explore the ancient art of Feng Shui. But next, its medieval streets are home to the oldest aqueduct in the world. Sail away to Segovia, Spain, an ancient town with a curious claim to fame, when Curious World continues.
Segovia, Spain is made up of an incredible array of buildings that date from the late Middle Ages and the Renaissance, its two periods of prosperity. The city center is made up of a network of medieval streets, home to its famous Roman aqueduct of 128 arches, built 2,000 years ago to supply water to an ancient civilization. Segovia, Spain.
Home to one of the world's great architectural treasures, Segovia, Spain has been declared a national monument because of its plumbing. Spanning this beautiful land, the oldest aqueduct in the world stands as a tribute to the outstanding achievements of early Roman engineering. And amazingly enough, it still works. Today, this aqueduct still serves the people in this part of Spain. Originally designed to carry sea and river water to inland towns, these structures were built nearly 2,000 years ago to supply an ancient civilization. The ingenious architects of Imperial Rome developed the aqueduct's great potential and built them all across the Roman Empire. This aqueduct in Segovia dates from the 1st century AD and was constructed to provide water for an important Roman military encampment. Part of the aqueduct runs underground. The exterior length of the 9-mile-long system consists of a chain of 167 arches that even today are an engineering wonder. Apart from its value to Western history, the world's oldest aqueduct stands to prove the natural laws of physics, too. These granite arches were built without any kind of binding material. Because of the way the Romans balanced the weight of the stones themselves, the aqueduct has remained standing without mortar since it was first built for the empire. An important link to the people of the past, the Segovia Aqueduct has survived despite the passing of time, with nearly 20 centuries of service to this community. Here's a collection that's bound to make you a little unpopular with the neighbors. A woman in England, we'll call Annette, has an unusual collection of dogs. While she considers them her best friends, they also happen to make up one of the largest collections of Chihuahuas in the world. It started with only 2 dogs. When they began to multiply, Annette had to keep some of them because she thought they were just so cute. Before she knew it, she had 64 of them. Each dog has a name, and Annette claims she never mistakes one for another. The oldest one in this collection is simply known as Friend. Every day, this woman spends at least 4 hours cooking for the dogs, hoping she'll have some left over for the next day. The meatloaf Annette makes for these little guys is so good that on at least one occasion, her husband mistook it for dinner. Annette says she tries hard to keep her house free of the typical dog smell. But not everyone agrees on it. Odor problem aside, she says she's learned most of what she knows from a How to Care for Chihuahua manual she calls her Bible. She says she truly believes that the dog is man's best friend. Certainly, these dogs are her best friends. Annette's husband offered her a trip around the world if she would get rid of the dogs, but she's not interested. Unbending in her doggy devotion, Annette plans to make her canine collection even bigger by breeding more of the world's smallest dog. This next story should come in very handy if you're planning on a trip to Singapore in the near future. The uninformed tourist traveling to these parts could find himself in financial strife otherwise. Forget to flush a toilet in a public restroom or light up a cigarette inside a building? $500, please. The same fine applies for eating on a bus or a subway or throwing litter from the car. The most severe fine is $5,000 if you get caught pressing the emergency button on the escalator. And as much as that $5,000 might hurt, it's nothing compared to the 20 lashes you face if you're caught painting graffiti anywhere. Even though the t-shirt shops are making a fortune from the tourists, the city takes its can't-do attitude very seriously. Visitors and locals dare not throw their cigarette butts on the ground in this city and are careful to stay close to the public smoking areas and receptacles. At least one good thing has come from all these rules, laws, and restrictions. Singapore has become one of the cleanest cities anywhere in the world. No matter where you go in the city, you'll see trash cans on almost every corner. The city has become so pristine that street cleaners are desperate to find anything at all to sweep up with their brooms. Singapore, one of the cleanest cities in the world. In the world of architectural wonders, there's only one Great Wall of China. There are 2 Statues of Liberty. But did you know there are actually 3 Leaning Towers of Pisa? That's right, 3. And if you ever travel here, now you'll know where to look. All the Italian tour guides know about these 3 towers. Oddly enough, no one talks about them. The other leaning towers in this famous town have gone unnoticed in favor of the notorious one built by an unknown architect. Maybe it's because no form of public transportation passes through this neighborhood. The second tower is found opposite the San Michele degli Scalzi Church in the north of the Italian city. Built by a Benedictine order of priests, you can easily see how the San Michele bell tower leans. The third Leaning Tower of Pisa is only a few minutes away from the very famous one. You'll find it along the Via Santa Maria, between the San Nicola Church and another old building. Thousands of tourists take photos, striking amusing poses that play with the odd angle of the Leaning Tower of Pisa. But just like that famous architectural failure, the other Leaning Towers also defy the rules of construction, as they sink crookedly, centimeter by centimeter, into the subterranean mysteries below this Italian soil.
Whether there are 1, 2, or 3 leaning towers in Pisa, the most important question must be, how do we stop them from tilting any further? Since the early 19th century, nearly continuous technological efforts have been made to stop the leaning process. Despite these interventions, however, the leaning continues, but at a much more accelerated rate than in the previous 300 years.
Coming up, the largest restaurant in the world. A Thailand food mecca so vast, it will astound you. Roller skate through the Royal Dragon. But next, brave a buzz on the streets of Korea. Uncover the curious haircutting phenomena that's sweeping Asia when Curious World continues.
A coal-carrying merchant ship, the Bounty, was owned by the British Admiralty and was summoned in 1787 for a special mission. In the end, Captain William Bligh navigated a longboat more than 3,000 miles to safety over 41 days using only a sextant and a pocket watch. The voyage was a feat of navigation that remains unparalleled in naval history. And where's the Bounty today? For a start, let's journey down under to see a surprising Hollywood replica.
On the coast of Australia, a curious kind of gastronomic adventure awaits. Life, this restaurant seems to say, is one big pirate movie. And if you eat here, you're the star. Originally intended to be an accurate replica of the legendary HMS Bounty, the ship was built for the movie of the same name. The Bounty, starring Mel Gibson, was the third film to tell the story of one crew's now famous rebellion on the high seas. Aboard the Bounty restaurant, pirate patrons may have similar ideas. Customers are pressed into service and ordered to help out with the sales, or serve as lookouts and share watches on deck. And those who don't move quickly enough are threatened with a serious flogging. Is the seafood worth the sea duty? Then you'll be joining the many gourmet connoisseurs who say that a meal aboard this ship is worth sailing the seas for. Every year in Hong Kong, a famous brand of mineral water sponsors the original Waiters Relay Race, where it's on your mark, get set, and go. And your order is served. This entertaining competition has multiple events in 2 main categories. For those who think they possess the steadiest hands and the fastest legs, it's the ultimate in fast food. In individual trial runs, each fully dressed waiter must run a measured course while carrying 1 or more trays stacked with glasses, drinks, and bottles, and cross the finish line without spilling a drop. On a much longer track, a large relay race involves a team effort shared among the waiters. After safely going the distance, each must pass a tray to the next waiter in line as the race continues. After successfully completing all the courses of this curious event, the tip is one great big trophy. been traveling and realized that you should have gotten a haircut before you left to go on vacation? In the streets of some countries, like India, China, or Korea, you can get a haircut in the street while you wait for the bus. For only 3,000 won, or $2, you can easily get a trim near a famous city park in Korea. In India, for about the same price, barbers operate near a popular market. These open-air clip joints will never do for shy or bashful customers. People walking or driving by will all see the new do before you do. These stylists don't offer cappuccino or a shampoo, but they do have all the necessary tools of the trade. Some even provide umbrellas to protect clients from sunburn or rain. Inexpensive and practical for people in a hurry, street haircuts have become so popular in some countries that ordinary barbershops are losing their clientele. This next city you may remember as the location for the 1988 Olympic Games. Seoul, Korea was the second Olympics to be held in an Asian country after Japan. 160 guest countries gathered together for a mecca of sports and competition. But today in Seoul's crowded streets, the last thing you'd probably expect to see is a businessman enjoying his favorite sport. Tennis usually requires 2 players and a court, but this man plays his own game. In downtown Seoul, Korea, an urban tennis player demonstrates an easy way to play without partners or a country club. Continuous play is made possible with a simple rotating device that he sells for about 10,000 won, or $5. Right in the middle of a huge metropolis, this eccentric athlete promotes his favorite game as a great outlet for the stresses of city life. Proving once and for all, it really is possible to play in traffic.
Koreans are a sport-loving people. In Seoul alone, there are more than 24 stadiums for soccer, baseball, and field events. For those wishing to participate rather than watch, there are outdoor swimming pools, bike routes, as well as over 100 private tennis clubs. Tennis was introduced to Korea around the turn of the 20th century and quickly gained in popularity, leading to the formation of the first Korean tennis club in 1902.
Coming up, the way of wind and water. This Japanese architect makes his living by creating positive energy flow. The incredible art of Feng Shui. But next, brave the back streets of Hamburg in the infamous red light district, home to one man's curious collection when Curious World returns.
The Hamburg area of St. Pauli, Germany, the old red light district, is becoming more and more popular for German folk seeking adventurous nightlife. Besides the old adult establishments, there is a new burgeoning community of theater and dance bars in this unique, though sometimes provocative atmosphere. The famous street Herbertstrasse is where it all happens. Some weekends, more than 70,000 people descend on Hamburg's red light district, home to our next museum, the curious Harry's Bazaar.
One of the most interesting gift shops any tourist or traveler will ever come across is this one. Harry's Bazaar in Hamburg, Germany. What makes Harry's so unique is that all the items in the store were once owned by sailors fresh off the high seas and probably very low on cash. It's an incredible collection of rare objects and curios from all over the world. The store itself covers an area of over 30,000 square feet. And it's become a one-stop shopping mecca for those seeking the bizarre or unusual. The merchandise changes constantly, so you never know what you'll find here from day to day. And part of the fun and charm of shopping here is browsing the aisles and crowded bins. Market for an authentic African mask? Harry's got over 3,000 to choose from. Opened 46 years ago in Hamburg's red light district, Harry's Bazaar is owned and operated by this man, Harry Rosenberg. Of all the items in the store, Harry is most proud of this one. It's the shrunken head of a young Indian girl from the Amazon, and it's valued at $30,000. But just to warn you, if you've got your heart set on buying it, you're really just wasting your time. At Harry's Bazaar in Hamburg, it's the only thing here that's not for sale. It's no secret that man is capable of performing the most amazing feats. Take, for instance, this church in Venezuela, single-handedly built by one man. Anyone in these parts can certainly fill you in on the history of the church. And it's no secret who built it. But the mystery that will never be solved is why. The structure, located in the small village of San Rafael de Mogochias, is the sole accomplishment of Venezuelan artist Juan Felix Sanchez. Legend has it that Sanchez prayed to the Virgin Mary for a miracle. No one knows exactly what he asked for, and no one ever will. But what is known by those who believe the legend is that the miracle did come true. And in return, to show his gratitude to the Blessed Virgin, Sanchez built this humble church, an impressive accomplishment, not because of its size or design, but because Sanchez built it by himself, tirelessly hauling every stone by hand from a mountain a 10-hour walk away. The slabs and polished stones that make up the walls are so perfectly balanced that no cement or mortar was used to hold them in place. Sanchez died in 1997 and was laid to rest opposite the altar that he built himself. Today, the church remains a peaceful, quiet place. Set in the beautiful Andes Mountains, the church is a moving testament to one man's devotion and sacrifice. Centuries ago, important news was delivered to the people at meeting places designated around the cities. Today, few places exist where artists and social commentators stand dishing the dirt, like in London. Just a short distance from the marble-arched tube stop, you'll find one of London's most talked-about attractions, Speaker's Corner. In this section of Hyde Park, public assembly and uncensored debate are authorized by the British government, and it's been this way since 1872. Here, exercising one's freedom of speech is a daily workout for some Londoners. And they're not at all afraid to stand up and be heard, whether it's on stepladders, or even on plastic milk crates. It seems like the proverbial soapbox has long since fallen by the wayside. No need to shy away from religion and politics here. As you can imagine, these two subjects are always crowd pleasers and never fail to draw an audience. Anything goes here, and usually does. But rarely do these open debates lead to closed fists. Come rain or shine, if you have something to say, Speaker's Corner in Hyde Park is the place to be. It's great therapy, great fun, and the perfect way to experience one of the many wonders of London.
London's Hyde Park, now famous the world over for its Speaker's Corner, has a colorful history of public service. In earlier times, the area was a hunting ground for King Henry VIII, later becoming a favored venue for fighting duels, performing public executions, and even horse races. During World War II, it was the site of an enormous potato field, and more recently, the area has been used for music concerts, ranging from the Rolling Stones to Luciano Pavarotti.
Coming up, the celebration of life and energy as reflected in the ancient art of Feng Shui. Experience this Japanese man's vision of positive life force and healing home decor. Go east to a world of good fortune where color and location make a world of difference. When Curious World returns.
The practice of Feng Shui is more than 3,000 years old. But what exactly is Feng Shui? It's described as the art of creating harmony through the arrangement of our physical environment. And apparently it works. Donald Trump is said to have recently Feng Shui'd a $4.5 billion project in New York City. Prince Charles applied the practice to Kensington Palace. And people all over the world are recognizing the value of aligning their lives and their efforts with the positive flow of life force. The ancient art of Feng Shui.
An ancient Japanese science that's a celebration of life and energy is rapidly becoming a trendy and very popular Western practice. If you're thinking about building or remodeling your home, ask your architect if he's familiar with the Feng Shui approach to design. Feng Shui translated means the way of wind and water. This ancient belief has been part of Eastern cultures for centuries, and it's based on the conviction that energy flows from all points of the earth, and that these natural forces of the universe affect everything in the world, even how we go about building cities and homes. Through the principles of Feng Shui and the awareness of our actions, the Japanese believe we can take control of our lives and achieve all of our goals. Tourists visiting Japan can see Feng Shui reflected in much of the architecture, old and new. Could this way of thinking be a contributing factor in Japan's rapid growth in today's world market? Many Japanese believe so. Go to any bookstore in Japan and you'll discover just how popular this growing movement really is. One man who's had a major influence in promoting Feng Shui in Japan is Koichi Kobayashi. He claims that the energy of the earth offers up happiness, prosperity, success, and fortune to all who recognize and accept these natural powers. He attributes Tokyo's rapid boom over the years to this belief. A successful architect in Japan, Kobayashi incorporates Feng Shui into most of his designs. To get a better understanding of how it works, we'll use Kobayashi's office as an example. First, the north retains the energy of friendship. In this case, he's chosen a friendly cafe scene in gentle pastel colors, perfect for a nurturing, safe feeling. The South governs talent and intuition. So, in this part of the office, a view of the sea or forest is recommended. If that's not possible, a few interior plants neatly arranged will work just fine. The east, symbolizing work, is also the direction of the rising sun. For the eastern part of the office, Kobayashi positioned this large blue platter representing the sea. Next to it, something red for the sun. Finally, the west wall represents good fortune. In this area, Kobayashi has placed some yellow flowers and fruit symbolizing a bountiful fall harvest. He claims that all the energy in his office helps him maintain a positive attitude throughout the day. And with a better outlook comes better productivity, the origins of greater fortune. The Feng Shui theory can also be applied to the bathroom as well. For this room, perhaps the most important in the house, Kobayashi highly recommends a decent-sized window. It's not a hard and fast rule, but if the window is not possible, he suggests a simple color scheme of purple or violet will do just fine. To Thailand now for a record-breaking restaurant that enjoys a huge amount of business. Among the famous floating restaurants of Thailand is the Main Gorn Wong, the Royal Dragon, the most famous of them all. It's the largest restaurant in the world. It's so large the waiters must wear roller skates to keep the food warm when delivering it from the kitchen. Opened in 1991, it wasn't long before the Royal Dragon broke all world records. It has a seating capacity of 5,000 diners. These are served by a staff of 1,200. This includes the small army of roller skating waiters. There are 541 waiters in all, and many of these live in apartments within the restaurant. In addition to the food, customers are treated to music, traditional Thai dances, and acrobatic arts. There are also 50 private karaoke rooms available for families and small groups. In the kitchen of this giant establishment, 322 chefs and 337 assistants work non-stop to fill 24,500 bowls and serve customers 21,500 plates. And to eat all this food requires 17,824 sets of knives and forks. Just how big is the world's biggest restaurant? The Royal Dragon occupies 4 acres of floor space, serving an incredible 3,000 dishes per hour.
I hope you'll join us again for more of our curious world. I'm Jacob Witkin, and I'll see you next time.
Approximately